Hello there and welcome back to the Chaps Guide, the channel where we talk about men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And a big part of that men's style conundrum is the shoes that you wear. And I am actually delighted to welcome a new pair of shoes into my shoe family this week, and I'm going to show you what I've bought, unbox them for you, tell you a little bit about them, but most importantly, the reason I'm here today is to give these shoes their first polish, because you can't just wear them straight out of the box. Some preparation has to be made so that they look their very best. So I'm going to pull the camera in, I'm going to show you what I've bought, and we'll get to work. So here we are. I know you're very interested to see what I've bought, and the box tells the story really. This is a pair of Loake 1880 shoes. Now quite recently I looked across my shoe collection and I was quite critical. I looked at the gaps that I had, things I wanted to wear, and I saw that I had no pair of brown brogues which I could wear with chinos, not in the most formal situations, but as I tend to live in quite a country environment, I wanted a pair of shoes that would lend themselves well with perhaps various browns and autumn colours, and I didn't really have anything which fitted that bill. So I went out, and probably my favourite brand, or the brand which I've purchased more shoes of than any other, mostly because of the price point they're available at the quality level, is Loake. Now here's the Loake box, 1880. You may be aware that Loake makes several different tiers of shoes depending on the price point you've got to pay, and 1880 is their uppermost model. 1880 indicating the year of founding for Loake, which is a good quality British shoe manufacturer. And the 1880 tier of shoes, all been built in the UK, they're all good quality. The Royal Warrant tells us that they are by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen. So let's see what we've got inside. And inside, this is quite common to all the Loake 1880 shoes that I've bought in the past. Inside you get a little brochure which tells you all about the shoe themselves, a little bit about the history of Loake, the 5 generations still in family ownership today, which is great. But what we're here for is actually the star of the show. So take some of the packing away and let's have a look. What have we got? Let's have a look indeed. So inside we have our shoes, and they always come in these lovely little shoe bags which are nice, good to keep for when you travel and things like that in the future. And I have purchased, let's have a look, get them in the right order there. So this is what they call the Loake Birkdale shoe, and as you can see, Loake Birkdale, size 8, that's my size, UK 8, and that is what they call a burnished conker colour. And I hope you can see it's a lovely rich mid-brown colour, slightly reddy tones to it which just bring that brown to life, and it's very reminiscent of the sort of rusty colours that you often see in the autumn fall season. So these are the sort of shoes I went for, and as you can see it's a classic wingtip brogue. Just move one of them away. Classic wingtip brogue with the broguing all around the shoe, classic medallion broguing, and also it's got the Derby shoe lacing mechanism. So rather than being an Oxford with the shoe laces, the eyelets being part of the integral manufactured shoe, it's actually contained within these flaps. So quite an informal shoe in many respects, but beautiful colour. And as I wanted a pair for the autumn winter season, I went for the day-night sole. Oh, there you go, you can see day-night sole, never been worn, these fellas. And yeah, lovely, gives you good traction, good purchase on the ground on the wet, slippery, damp seasons of autumn and winter. Ideal pair of shoes, well constructed, thick, heavy pair of shoes. I know these are going to see me right. But when it comes to any shoes, I would never wear them straight out of the box, because even though the factory take good care to make sure they're in good order, you can wear them straight out of the box. But this is a lovely calf leather shoe, and it would look even better with a little bit of protection, a little bit of work. So let's see what I am going to do to them. So let's just get my things just over here. So I'm going to start off in the classic way, and that's to condition these shoes. And to do that, I'm going to use some Saphir Renovator, or Renovator to give it its English name. And this is simply a conditioning cream. And I'm going to take one of these shoes away. and we'll compare at the end whether you think my efforts were worthwhile. So the Renovator is a conditioning cream which has got oils and waxes within there which will protect the shoe, but more importantly it will nourish the shoe and feed it, because I don't know how long ago this shoe was manufactured. It may have been in the back of a cupboard or a warehouse for a year, 2 years. It's in the current Loake catalogue, and I'll tell you about my buying process for this shortly, but it's still in the Loake catalogue, and we know that the catalogue changes every 1 to 2 years, so I know it can't be more than a couple of years old, even if it was in the first batch of shoes made, the Birkdales made. But it might have been in a warm environment, it could have been starved of, some humidity, so it could be very dry, and it obviously doesn't do the leather well to sit without protection and conditioning. So I'm going to give it a coat of conditioning to start off with, and I think we'll just get straight to that, because it doesn't take very long. Put my polishes down to one side, and what am I going to do? Well, this is a very simple process. I'm just going to take the lid off my conditioner, and I am going to use a cloth to apply it. But before I do anything, the first thing I'm going to do, if I just reach down and pick one up, I am going to put a shoe tree within this shoe, because when I buy a pair of shoes, the first purchase I make is a pair of cedar shoe trees, and because they keep the shoe in its best condition, in its proper shape, it's always going to look its best when you keep it in a cedar shoe tree. Make sure it's in there nice and tight, and there we go, perfect. And that pair of shoe trees will live with this shoe, or these shoes, for the duration of time that I own them, and they'll always go in that pair of shoes. I know that they're going to look after that pair of shoes, and the shoe trees cost about £20, but they will last forever in essence. So this is just a piece of cotton cloth harvested from an old shirt, as you can see, and I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers, wrap it around the old fingers, making it nice and easy to use. I'm going to dip my fingers into the Renovator shoe cream, or the conditioner, and I'm just going to apply it using small circles, regularly going back to the Renovator in the pot to get it all over this beautiful pair of Birkdale Brogue shoes, full brogues. And I love a full brogue, actually. I think it's one of the more classic styles. It's an archetypical sort of British shoe, and even though one might say because of the broguing it makes them a little more less formal, personally I would not hesitate to wear a brogue with a suit. I often do. I have several pairs of brogues, black brogues, burgundy brogues, suede brogues. In fact, I might even do a video shortly on the versatility of brogues, because I think they're such a classic shoe, which it's obviously very well worn amongst men's style, but people often do sort of malign them and overlook them because they're slightly less formal perhaps than the cap to Oxford. So all I've done here, I've given a quick squiz over with that Renovator, and I can just work that into the leather, and I know by touching and feeling this leather, I know that this leather is in good condition. There's not going to be anything in the way of problems here dealing with this. This is not an old leather, it's not a second-hand shoe that I've bought of an indeterminate origin. I know this shoe is pretty new, doesn't need a lot of conditioning, but I go through this process every time just to make sure that the shoes are at their very best. So all I need to do now, let that just dry off. I'm in the outdoors, as you can probably tell, and it's an autumn morning. There's not a stiff breeze, but there is the air is passing by, so I know it's not going to take but a few moments for this shoe to dry off. So now I'm going to take my horsehair brush, 100% horsehair brush, absolute investment every chap has to make if you're into shoe care, worth putting a few pounds into a good brush. And now all I'm going to do, I'm going to apply the brush to the shoe as the sun breaks on me as well, and I'm just going to add some friction and some heat to that Renovator whilst it's on the shoe. And you might have seen when I was applying it to the brogue that some of the Renovator went into the broguing on the toe cap. As you can see, the brush has removed that. It's not a problem at all. In fact, it might actually do those little broguing holes some favours. So there we go, nice simple process. Get that off there. So there we go. I've applied the Renovator and I have taken it off with the brush, simple as that. Not much of a change to the look of the leather at the moment. It's a good quality calf leather, so I know it's going to let that stuff absorb, and it's looking good already. But before I do anything else, even though I've now conditioned the shoe, I do like to apply shoe cream. That way the shoe is going to be protected and we know that it's going to look its very best. And one of the pleasures of buying a new pair of shoes is going on a journey with those shoes, because, you know, as you apply polish, patina will be applied to the shoe as well, and you know, you're gonna change its color as it stays with you. So in this case, I've looked at the polishes in my collection. Wow, the sun is coming out quite bright now. I've looked at the polishes in my collection and seen what I think are going to be the best fit with this pair of shoes. Now the mid-brown to me, let's have a look. I don't know if you can see that, the mid-brown, a little bit too brown. I know it'll work if I apply it to this pair of shoes, but it's not a natural fit right now. So I'm going to put that down and I'm going to look to the other colour, which I think is going to be a better fit. And that is this sort of mahogany colour. Let's have a look. It is indeed the mahogany colour from Saphir. Saphir shoe cream, as you can see, and this one has got certainly a definite more reddy hue to it, which looks to me to be a better fit with this burnished conker colour, which these shoes are stated as being. Now it might be a little bit too red for these shoes, but the beauty of shoe cream is nothing's permanent's going to happen here. All I'm going to do is apply the shoe cream, and you know, if it doesn't look right, the next time I apply shoe cream, I'll apply the mid-brown, and I might alternate between the two colours as these shoes stay with me, so that, you know, the patina will change, it will become individual and unique to this pair of shoes and to its relationship with me, and we'll see where that journey takes us. So let's start that journey by applying the mahogany. I'm a big fan of burgundies and reddy colours in footwear anyway, because it's a great way of bringing colour and joy to your shoe. So back round the finger again, I'm just going to dip my finger into that shoe cream, and again just going to apply it in nice liberal small concentric circles onto the shoe, rubbing it into the leather, and you know, keep going back and forth the polish, getting a little bit on the brush. You don't need to load, sorry, the brush, your finger. You don't really need to load your finger up. The colour of the polish, although people get a bit anal about this, you know, choosing the colours, reality is it'll slightly nuance the colour of the shoe over a long period of time. It's not going to be any significant change, to be honest, you know, unless you had a very light shoe and you applied a very dark coloured polish to it. So don't get too worried about this. You know, if it's not as you like it, you can just go back and change it. You can apply a different polish over the top, a different shoe cream. But again, all I'm doing is applying that shoe cream, small circles, pushing it into the leather, you know, nourishing the leather again further, because the waxes and polishes contained in this Saphir product are going to do what we want. We're going to nourish, protect and colour the shoe, and it's going to look its best, because when we invest good money in a pair of shoes, we want it to project the best possible impression of us that it can. Now, of course, if this is something, you know, if you see the shoe going in the direction that you like, you can apply many layers of polish to your shoe. All you've got to do is just let it dry off, leave it about 5 minutes, and then brush it away and reapply. And as you build up those different layers of polish, your shoe will take on different look. And again, I can see some of the material, the polish material, have gone into the broguing at the toe cap. That's not a problem. It's going to be displaced when I apply the brush in a very short period of time, which I'm going to do in just a moment. So I'm going to put that away. I'm only going to put one coat on today. If I had perhaps more time, I might consider doing maybe 2, but yeah, not right now. So my brush comes out again, my lovely 100% horsehair brush. As I say, ordinarily, a couple of minutes is fine to let the polish dry. I can see it's dried, you know, I'm in an outdoor environment. I'm just going to apply the brush. Plenty of vigour with the brush. Remember, it's the friction which generates the heat, which moves the polish around, which makes it absorb into the pores of the leather. And that's what you really want. You want the leather and the polish to become as one, to adhere together, and you know, that polish to become part of the shoe, or a cream in this case, cream polish. So plenty of friction, plenty of effort, get that polish, that cream into the shoe, and we'll see it coming to its a little bit of a luster in a moment, I hope. Make sure that that stuff which has gone into the brogues, yeah, that's all been displaced. Good brush does all this work for you. And there we go. Looking good, looking good. So already, even though I've just put one coat of Renovator, one coat of cream polish into this pair of shoes, I can see a lovely bit of a sheen coming. I can see the leather is appreciating that work that we've just put into it. And yeah, it's starting to look better already. Now I could quite happily wear this out right now as is, to be honest. It looks great. That burnished conker colour has been enhanced by the red of the mahogany, the reddy hues of that. And I think, yeah, looks great. But one step to go, maybe two, we'll see how we feel in a moment. Now it's time to think about the polish, because although we've applied cream polish basically is more of a conditioning, nourishing polish, not the polish which most people think of when they think of shoe polish, which is the hard polish, which most people will purchase from, you know, shoe stores, cobblers, things like that. Now this is a Sapphire Medal d'Or polish. It's their top of the range shoe polish, and it's a hard polish, as you can see. And this is the mid brown, in spite of the fact that when you look at it there, it has a distinctive orange hue, but they do all different colours, and the mid brown is a very good catch-all colour. And again, very simple process for applying this. I'm just going to wrap the old cloth around my finger yet again, and I am going to get plenty of that polish on the end of my finger, as you can see. And then here we go again, those circles again on the leather. And this will provide what I like to think of as the overcoat for this pair of shoes. Whereas the cream polish is sort of your enhancer. It brings a bit of colour. There's a lot more colour pigment in the cream polish. The wax polish, the hard polish I'm using now, will act as a sort of overcoat, a protective wax shell over the shoe, which will protect it from the rain to a degree. It'll protect it from the salts and all the other, you know, materials which people put on the road and the pavements and the sidewalks in the wintertime. Now, you can spend as much or as little time doing this as you like. I'm zipping through it rather quickly, but I'm just going over it and making sure that the entirety of the shoe has been covered by this lovely, beautiful cream polish, or wax polish, I beg your pardon, which will protect it. And exactly as the same as we've done in the two previous stages, all we need to do now is let that sit for 5 minutes or so, and then apply the brush. So there we go, a little bit of time has passed. That wax polish is now dried, and what I need to do now, same as the last stages, get the old brush, and again, friction and heat will make that wax polish form into a hard shell on top of the leather, on top of the cream polish, on top of the Renovator, and our shoe will be shiny, it will be lustrous, its colour will have been enhanced by the cream, and it will be protected. All of the things that you need to do to a new shoe before you think about taking it out into that big wide world where it will be seen and it will start to, you know, undertake the rigours of life. Because don't forget, quite literally, this is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to your foot. This will be the only thing which stands between you and having wet, cold feet in those winter months. So if you want the shoe to protect you, you need to put some time in and protect it. So there we go. Now we've applied those earlier layers which have protected the shoe, and we've got a bit of a luster coming on there. It's starting to look good, is it not? It's starting to have a nice shine to it. It's starting to be very appealing. Now, is there anything more that we could do? Would you ordinarily apply a mirror shine to a pair of Brogues? Well, not ordinarily, but you know what? I like these shoes. They've got a beautiful colour, and I've decided to actually apply a bit of a mirror shine to the toe cap, just the toe cap area, just to give it a bit more character and to make it look that little bit better again. So, get my mirror shine kit out here. Now, when it comes to mirror shine, if you want to get a jump on the world, the best thing you could do is to invest in some Sapphire mirror gloss. I'm not aware of any other manufacturer making a mirror gloss, but essentially this is a dry version of the polish, the wax polish that we've just applied. And this allows us to build up the layers on top of the shoe, on top of the area that we want to have a mirror shine quicker. Because it's drier, it allows you to get that mirror shine a lot quicker, because obviously it's the layers of polish which make the mirror shine sparkle. And in this case, I mean, I've got two pots of mirror shine here. One is the neutral colour, which is good for any shoe colour in essence. But because I quite like this burnished colour on this pair of Brogues, and I'm quite happy to continue down that path, giving it more colour, more character, I'm going to use some black. So this black mirror gloss has been well used, as you can see, and I am going to use that because that will add some depth and some character to this pair of shoes. So how am I going to do it? Well, it's simple. It's just a matter of building up layer after layer on that toe cap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get myself a cosmetic cotton pad, exactly the sort of things that the ladies or the gentlemen, whoever, use to apply their makeup. And all I'm going to do, I am going to dampen that cotton pad just with a bit of water, no more than that. A few sprays of water over that cotton pad just to dampen it down. Don't have to get it soaking wet, nothing like that. And I'm just going to form it into a little pad now, as you can see. And that little pad is going to be a little wad, and I'm going to rub that into my polish, get a bit of that polish on the end of that wad, as you can see. And now I'm going to apply it in concentric small circles just to the toe cap area, because that is the area that I would like to get that mirror shine on. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that over and over again, bringing it up to an almost shine every time until I'm satisfied. I'm not trying to get a super mirror shine, I just want to get these shoes looking a little bit better, with a little bit more character, a little bit more colour on that toe cap. So I'm just going to crack on and do this. I don't expect you to sit there and watch, so I'm going to speed it right up, and in a moment you come back, hopefully we'll have a bit of a result for you to see. Well, welcome back. And I've spent about 5 minutes now on the toe cap of that shoe. I hope you can see the lustrous shine which has just started to form. The truth is, it took no effort at all, and the beauty of that was in the shoe itself. Because it's a good quality calf leather shoe, the leather accepted the polish with open arms, and it started to come to a shine. And you can already see the variation now, that burnishing between the main body of the shoe and the slight darker hue which has been imparted by that black colour. Now next time, I might just apply the neutral, which will balance the colour. The beauty of your shoes when you go on a journey with them, how you apply the products that you apply will have a significant impact on the way that your shoe patinas and goes forward with you. So let's have a look to see if my efforts have been worthwhile. Let's look at the shoes buddy. So has it been a worthwhile investment in my time? Well, I can see the shine for a start, and the deeper colour which is evident on this shoe to my right, which has been imparted by the products I've put on. It's gonna look great. I'm gonna wear these shoes out tomorrow. I've got a bit of a special event to go to in the morning, and yes, I now know when I've done the other shoe that these shoes will look special. They look shiny, they look beautiful, and they will be ready to represent me in the best possible light as I wear them out in the wild. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on the preparation and first polish of a brand new pair of Loake Birkdale shoes into my footwear family. If you have, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Ask me any questions you want about footwear, men's style, or anything at all, and I'll be delighted to come back to you. Now, until the next time we meet, look after yourselves and your families, and I'll see you again very soon, back here at the Chaps Guide.